Good morning and welcome to Magical Monday Story Time. My name is Miss Brittany and I'm super happy to be here and do stories with you today. We're going to start by taking out our hands and waving hello to our friends. My hand says hello. My hand says hello. Every time I see my friends, my hand says hello.
One more time.
One more time. My hand says hello. My hand says hello. Every time I see my friends, my hand says hello. We're going to sing it together in Spanish this time. Can you sing it? Mi mano dice hola, mi mano dice hola. Cada vez que veo mis amigos, mi mano dice hola. And sing it together in Spanish one more time. Mi mano dice hola, mi mano dice hola. Cada vez que veo mis amigos, mi mano dice hola. Well, today we have a fun story for you. It is called Little by Little. And the story is by Amber Stewart and Lane Marlowe. And this book right here, if you'd like to read it later, is from the Jane Stern Community Library in Dorado. So you could check it out if you would like. Otto was making a list. An I can do list and an I cannot do list. The can do side was much longer. On it was forward roly-poly, backwards roly-poly, being kind to the frogs, mudsliding, making very good sand castles, slippery rock hopping. But the can-do list was shorter. It just said swimming. Otto wasn't sure he could do swimming. It was on the cannot do list. Otto, are you going to go swimming today? Asked Beaver. No, said Otto. No, not at all, asked Beaver. No, not even a little? Otto sighed. And then he went home. Don't listen to Beaver, said his mommy when Otto told her. Little by little, you are going to learn how to swim. So Otto decided he was going to keep trying. Sometimes Otto would pretend that he could swim. That's a good way to start. When you're a little nervous or scared about something, start by pretending you can do it. But really, he was just hopping quickly, very quickly along the riverbed. Other times, Otto would run along the riverbank, trying not to be left behind by his friends as they spun and tumbled through the water. See, he's practicing by being by his friends. But most days, Otto would simply sit and his favorite slippery rock, wishing and wishing from his whiskers all the way down to his toes that he could swim. Every day his mommy would say, "Today is the day." And every day he tried, but it just wasn't. Then one sunny day, Otto and his sister were watching their friends jumping off the highest ever rock into the deepest ever swimming pool below. "You have to start small," his sister said. "Start small?" said Otto. "Yes, small," she said. "Come on. Today is the day to start out small. When you're learning something new, maybe you would like to start small like Otto's doing." "That's how I did it when I learned how to swim," she said. So Otto started off small. He hopped along the riverbank, keeping his toes on the bottom just a little bit longer every time. Then he did higher hops, and he started floating in between the hops. The next day, Otto did floating without holding on to anything. He's floating on his back. And pretty soon, he was kicking all the way to the halfway stone in the water. Oops. Sorry, friends. A few days later, Otto splashed and kicked and swam the whole width of the river, from one bank to the other bank, all by himself. And little by little, the width between the length of the river from Otto's den to the deepest pool ever, he made it. Before long, the splashing and kicking turned into gliding and roly-polies on the riverbank and tumbling underneath the water. When he was ready, Otto invited his friends and his family to come see his big surprise. With everyone gathered along the riverbank, Otto jumped off the highest rock ever into the deepest pool ever. "I did it," said Otto to his sister. "I can really swim." "You really can," laughed his sister, hugging her very wet little brother. "You see, you start small and you can finish big." Kind of a fun story. There might be things that you have in your life that are kind of difficult to do. Maybe you have a big can-do list of all these wonderful things that you can do. And then maybe there's a couple things that are hard for you. Maybe like swimming in the water.
Like swimming, you have to start with something on you.
Yeah, in
like a floaty.
We started
but
with floaties.
Then you can swim without.
And then eventually you'll learn how to swim. So sometimes you just have to start small and give yourself some confidence. And little by little, you will be able to swim. Well, in our story today, little Otto, he went swimming. So there's lots of different things that you can do when you're swimming. You can backstroke. You can go forwards and doggy paddle. You can dive in. So we're going to listen to a song and you can do some wiggling and jiggling. Excuse me. Thank you. And you'll be able to do some of the swimming motions along with us. Here we go. Let's turn it up a little bit. Walk and the walk was cool. Saw some people in the swimming pool. Swam to the left, swam to the right. Ready? Let's see what they do first. Can you do a backstroke? Put your arms back behind you. Can you pretend you're backstroking with me? Not today. Now walk, went for a walk, and the walk was cool. Saw some people in the swimming pool. Swam to the right, swam to the left. Let's see what they do next. Doggy paddle. Oh, doggy paddle fast. Doggy paddle slow. And now we're walking. Get those wiggles out. Do some walking and some swimming. No walking. Let's see what they do next. You do a breaststroke. Big. Oh, push. Oh, push the water around. Do some walking. Ooh, there you go. You got your breaststroke down now. Right. The left. Can you pretend you have your snorkel on? Your goggles and your snorkel? And snorkel down to the water. And snorkel down. So you can see any fishies, starfish, creatures. Now we're walking. Snorkeling. The right. And the left. Let's see what else. Can you dive in? Wow. Dive down deep. Wow, big dives. Wow, those are so awesome dives. Now we're walking. Ready? To the right, to the left. Let's see what else we can do. You dry off. Dry off your body. Dry off your hair. Do you do that when you're done swimming? You gotta dry off, right? A walk and the walk was cool. They did all their swimming things. Get all your walking and wiggles and jiggles out. The end, huh? Bye-bye. That's the end of our song. There's lots of different things you can do in the water. Once you learn how to swim, you can try lots and lots of different things. Well, in our story, it said that Otto was a little nervous because when he jumped and dove into the water, sometimes he would kind of sink down. So I have a project that you can try at home if you want. It's like a science experiment. You need a bowl with some water in it, and then if you want to, you can make a picture like we did. We made an observation picture. We have objects that we're going to try. We're going to try a boat, a girl, a comb, some frosting for pretend, a domino, and a block. We're going to make a prediction. A prediction is a guess. We're going to make a guess to see if we think these things are going to sink or float. And then we're going to test them out to see what they really do. And at your house, if you want to pause and make a graph like this, and then you can try your own activities. But these are the ones we're going to try. So if we were to take a boat and put it into the water, do you think it would sink, which means to go down to the bottom, or float, stay on top of the water? We think the boat is going to float. So I am going to go to my prediction part. I'm going to make an X on float. Next, I have a girl. We have a little Lego girl. Do you think she's going to sink, go down, or float, stay on the top of the water?
Sink.
She's going to sink. Okay, let's put an X. So we put an X for her by sink. We think she might sink down deep. The next thing I have is a comb for your hair. What do you think? Is it going to sink, or is it going to float on top?
Float.
This one might float. You can make your own predictions at home too if you wanted to do this with us. Next I have, it's not real frosting, but it's some pretend frosting. It kind of goes inside like this. What do you think at your house? Is it going to sink down to the bottom of the bowl, or is it going to float on the top?
Sink.
The frosting might sink. That's our prediction. Then I have this domino. Domino is kind of heavy. I don't know. What do you think? Is it going to sink or float?
Sink.
Sink down. I think you might be right on the domino, but we will see. And the last thing I have is a block or a Lego. What do you think? Sink or float?
Float.
Float. Okay. Now we're going to actually do our testing. So now we need our thing of water.
Can I get
And the
a
first
boat?
one we had was the boat. How about I'll hand them to you next time? Oh, look it. Is the boat sinking down or is it floating?
Floating.
The boat floats. Okay, hold on. Thank you. I'm going to hand them to you, okay, so that you don't have to reach across. The next one was the girl. Can you put the girl in? Let's see, is she going to sink or float? Oh, she actually floats. We thought she was going to sink, but the girl floats. She kind of sunk at the beginning, didn't she? And then she floated right up. Next, we had our comb. Try again. Into the bowl. Oh my goodness! The comb is floating too. I wonder if we got anything that's going to sink in ours. Our comb floated. It stayed on top of the water. Next, we had our pretend frosting. Ooh,
Float!
It's floating. Let's put it this way and see if it still floats.
No,
Oh my goodness, what's it doing?
sinking.
I think it depends on how you put it in. If you put the frosting in this way, it floats like the boat did. But if you flip it upside down, it seems to catch the water and then it sinks on down. So that one's kind of both of them, isn't it? That one can do sink or float. Okay, so I'm going to put that X in the middle
We have
as it
the
does both.
domino.
The domino, be very careful with the domino. It's heavy. What is it going to do?
Sink.
It sinks. Let's show the friends all the way down to the bottom. It sunk right down. Okay, I'm going to put one on sink. Okay, and then the very last one is our block, our Lego. Oh, what does it do? That one floats.
Or if you push it down there, it will
Try it.
sink.
Push it down. Now move. It's a floating one. Thank you so much. Okay, can you set it back down in the water for me? Thank you. Okay, so at our house, sit back down. We did
I'll turn
some
my hands with
science today. We found some objects. We made our predictions, our guesses for what we thought was going to happen. And then we did a test. And we found out that a lot of our objects actually floated. Only the domino sunk. But that frosting was kind of fun because it did two different things. So it got to go in the middle. The last thing I have for you, if you want to, at your houses, I used a brown piece of paper, but you can use any colored paper that you want. So you need a piece of
brown.
paper, a brown for the brown Otto. And we're going to make a paper bag puppet today. So you need a piece of paper, a scissors to cut, a bag, some glue.
What's this high
and-
school glue?
Yes, we're borrowing it from Graceland. We're going to use a black crayon for ours today, but you can be creative and make yours however you want. Then you need a binder and something to shove inside the bag, okay? So at our house, we're going to use these plastic bags, but you can do what you want. So you're going to start with your paper. And you're going to cut out a face of an otter. And then you're going to cut out legs and arms. And I folded mine in half so that I got 2 faces, which I only need 1. But then I got 2 legs and 2 arms. Okay? So a face, arms, and legs. And when you cut them
half
out,
can be
they
for
will
the
look
project
like this.
and half can be for me to
For you
make.
to do later. So you'll have a face for your otter. Then you're going to take your crayon and you're going to decorate the otter's face. Your otter's face can look however you want.
Mine is
And
plain
then
because this is the one I'm going to use.
You're going to have legs and arms, and you're going to do the same thing. You're going to take them and you're going to decorate them however you would like at your house.
My mom's going to do my
Decorate
legs.
it, and then we're going to make his hands. And I'm just doing lots of little lines today, but you can make yours however you want at your house, okay?
Those are
So
my
once
legs.
you have your face, your 2 arms, and your 2 legs, now you're ready to stuff your bag. So you're going to open it up, and you're going to tip it this way, and you
Can I
can
put
use
this stuff
paper
in?
towels, or in our house we're going to use some bags. We're going to squish the bags inside to make him be an otter. And we're going to try one more bag. Set it in there?
Yeah.
Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my bag, and I'm going to take my rubber bands, and I'm going to go like this so that he looks kind of like an otter. Okay?
Yeah, this,
Now,
the bottom's his tail. That's why he looks like an otter.
okay, so you let mommy finish, okay? Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my face that I decorated, and I'm going to put glue on it
the
from my
back.
glue stick on the back side so that I can put my otter's face on. Just like that, okay? And then my otter had 2 arms for some glue and 2 legs. Whoopsies, one of mine is sticking up at our house. Kind of fun. Okay, and I'm going to put my arms on my otter.
Mom.
Yep, it's okay. Okay, right here for arms.
And
Hold
then
them
I'll
on there.
put your legs.
And then 2 legs, 1 on each side. And then you're right, you can see the tail. And you have, oops, I'm going to move them down a little bit by where his legs are. And you have an otter that can float or can go diving down into the water. Okay, so that's our project for today. Please join us again next week for story time. And if you liked our story, you can give us a thumbs up, or you can become part of the Jane Stern Dorado Community Library Facebook page and subscribe so that you can see our stories every week. Adios. Goodbye.
Adios.